Hi, I bought this job lot of faulty Xbox controllers from eBay. Paid £45 for the three of them, and that was including postage. So I think what we'll do is we'll start with this one. We'll hook it up to the laptop, we'll see what it does, and then hopefully repair it. Then we'll work onto this one and on this one. Right, let's get started then. Get these two out of the way. Right, so it looks in relatively good condition. No signs of corrosion or anything in the battery compartment, so I shall bring the laptop in and we'll connect it up. Right, so I've got the laptop here now, and I'm going to be using a site called gamepadtester.com. So let's plug this in. And I'm recording the laptop screen so you can see what's going up, and straight away it looks like the left stick is thinking you're pressing it up. Yeah, so there's definitely some kind of problem with the left stick on here, on the up and down axis. The left and right, I'll just scroll this down a bit. Left and right seems to be okay. Well, there's definitely a problem with the up and down side of this stick. The right stick seems to actually work okay. Let's try the buttons. A, Y, B and X seem to work okay. Right trigger, right bumper, left trigger. I'll try the D-pad. And I'll try these two. So I think with this one it seems to be the left analog stick that seems to be the problem. So I think we'll take it apart and see if we can repair it. Right, so first thing we need to remove these two plastic covers here. So I've got a plastic pry tool here. And I remember these were a bit fiddly the last time I had a look at one of these. Well, there's one off. It came off quite energetically. Right, now the other side. And that's that one off. Right, so we've got 4 Torx on the edge here. Security Torx, I think. I think it was a T9, which is what I've got in here. And I think there's one under this label here. So it doesn't look like anybody's been into this before because the label's still intact. Right, so it's this stick here. So I think it might be easier if we remove this sub board. So I'm going to get the iron out. I'll take these, untag these couple of wires here, and we'll remove these 2 little antenna wires. And I think that'll just make it a bit easier to work on. I'll zoom in a bit. Right, let's get me tweezers and we'll see if we can remove these little antennas. Like that. And I think this was a smaller size Torx on the inside. I think it's about a T5 maybe? T6 possibly. Let's remove these caps. And hopefully this board should just come out now. Right, so it'll be this analog stick here. Now, I did repair one of these previously in a different video, and the Alps joysticks that I purchased from eBay, I think they were actually copies because the joystick didn't work correctly, and I had to add a couple of resistors on the back after I'd replaced the stick. So because I've got an Xbox myself, I ordered, zoom out a bit, I ordered a pack of these, which is 10 of the genuine Alps joysticks. So, because I thought, you know, I've got an Xbox remote myself, and I thought, well, it's likely to fail at some point. So I thought, you know, while I was ordering one, and these are only £3 each, I think, but the price of shipping and everything else, I thought, well, I'll buy 10, so at least I've got some in stock. So, right, let's get one of these out then. So I think I'm going to use some low melt solder on these contacts here, because what we've got the that'll probably be the up and down potentiometer here. Now I have seen people where they've actually took the potentiometers, where they've actually just took the potentiometers off and left the actual metal joystick parts on the PCB, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to replace the whole thing. So what we've got on here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 anchor points. We've got the up and down potentiometer, or the Y potentiometer, and we've got the X potentiometer, which is for left and right. And we've also got these 4 contacts here, which are for the press button. So when you press the joystick in, it presses this little button here. If I just press it there, yeah. So that's pretty much how they work. So first I'm going to apply some flux to the pins, and then I'm going to use some of this Chip Quick low melt solder to aid removal of the joystick. Right, and it's off. Almost off. I've still got the potentiometer here. There we go. Right, so I'll clean those holes up with some solder wick. I'm just going to get a bit of blue tack or something just to hold this board in place while I'm working on it. Right, and put a bit of flux on. This just helps the solder flow a bit more easily. And I'm just going to use some of this solder wick just to wick off the excess. Right, so I'll just give this a bit of a clean up with some IPA, and we'll see how we're doing. Right, there's a couple of the holes haven't actually cleared properly, so I might need to use the solder sucker. Right, is that one cleared? I think this one down here is another one. Right, I think that's all the holes clear now. So this should just fit in nicely now. Apart from, it doesn't seem to be wanting to sit flat like the original. Now this one, I've just noticed has got two little plastic things sticking up here, whereas the original one doesn't. I think I might have to try and remove those two little bits, and then we'll see if that works. I'll leave the part number for this part in the description if anybody wants to replace one themselves. Right, let's get this one soldered in then. Right, I'm just going to do these two ones first, and then we'll just double check that the joystick's flat and flush to the board, which it appears so, just before we solder the rest of them up. Right, I'll put some IP on this, and we'll use a toothbrush just to clean off the flux, followed by a cotton bud. Right, so I'm happy with that. Yeah, so these joysticks will actually lock up if you press them too far. That's why the caps, they've got like such a big circle around the outside, so you can't actually move the joystick too far. Right, let's get this board back in and put the wires back on. And one thing to be aware of is the audio jack, which isn't actually fastened in, it just presses against the circuit board. Right, so I'll get those couple of small torques in first, just to hold everything in place. Right, we'll reattach those antennas. Right, so let's get these wires soldered back on now. Put a bit of fresh solder on these pads. Right, so that's one side done. Right, so that should be it, ready to put the button caps back on. Let's pop that screw out just to make it a little bit easier to get back rid of that. Right, let's get the laptop out and we'll give it a test. Right, so and looks like we've got a problem on the right joystick now as well, which wasn't shown before. Yeah, that one's slowly drifting up now, but it wasn't doing that earlier. And it's not doing it now, but I think, actually there it is, yeah. So I think there's a problem with the right joystick on this as well, not just the left one. I just don't think it was showing it at the time. Now one thing I've noticed, if I go left, this is showing -1 as it should, and if I go right, it's only showing 0.98. If I go up, it's showing -1, which is correct, and down showing 1, so those are right. But it's only showing like 0.98 as we go right, and the center point on the screen here seems to be just slightly to the left. Now there was some talk of about some calibration routine that Microsoft might possibly run on these to when they're first set up, just to allow for differences in the controls, in the actual controller sticks, which might well be the case. Well, the up and down's working perfect now. It only seems to be the actually no, it seems to be working okay now, because I'm going -1 and +1. Yeah, but this right stick seems to have issues as well, which we didn't actually pick up on when we first took it apart. So it looks like I'm going to have to take this one apart again and replace that stick. So that's a bit of a pain. Right, I suppose I better do that then.
A few moments later.
Right, so I've got it stripped down to the board again, and that's the stick that we've just replaced, which seems to be working okay now. And the one with the green pots is the original one that seems to have an issue as well. Right, so I'm going to do the same thing again, use low melt solder on these pins after I apply a bit of flux first, and we'll get this this one off. Right, so that's the old one out. I've cleaned up all the holes and cleaned up the area again with some IPA. Right, we'll just get a new joystick. So we'll just cut those little bits of plastic off again. And we'll put it in here. We'll just check that it's nice and flat. And then we'll just solder this one up. There we go, good as factory. Right, so we'll reassemble it and test it again. Right, let's hope it works this time then. I've noticed that the centre point seems to be slightly to the left and very slightly down on the first joystick and very slightly down on the right joystick now. So I wonder if there is some kind of calibration routine that Microsoft run on these when they set them up for the first time. Unfortunately we don't have that, so I think we'll just have to see how they perform. So right, we're going to go all the way 1.0, which is good, and left -1. Up, we're only getting about 0.9. I mean, can I press it a bit harder? Yeah, I mean, I can press it slightly harder there, and we're getting about 0.94. And down goes straight to 1. Left goes to 1, right goes to about 96. So again, it does seem like there's some kind of offset or something that that seems to be at play here. So I wonder if, like I said, there's some factory calibration utility that isn't public. And up goes to -1 and down goes to -1. So it only seems the left and the right, it seems to be pulling very slightly to the left. So I wonder if anybody else has had this sort of problem when they've replaced joysticks on these. Let's just try this circularity thing. And again, it kind of confirms what we've just suspected here, that we seem to have more pull on the bottom half of the circle there than we do on the top. And we'll see if this one does more on the left than when we go around. And it does, yeah, so this one seems to be more on the left. So like I said, we could do something with it like I did with the last one of these that I looked at, and add a couple of resistors in just to bias that centre point over slightly. But I think there's some calibration routine that or some calibration software that's not public that we haven't got access to, which would sort this out. Right, but at least it hasn't got stick drift now, so I'll test it on the Xbox shortly, but we'll have a look at the other ones in the meantime. Right, so we'll have a look at this white joystick now, so just plug it in. And straight away it looks like the right stick is pressing forward. I'll just untick this circularity test. Yeah, so this seems to be drifting forward on the right stick. It goes to -1 and +1 and +1 and -1. On the left joystick it seems to be centered at 0. -1 +1, -1 +1. So the left stick seems to work fine on this. The right stick seems to be drifting up. Let's just check the buttons. Right trigger, left trigger. Right bumper and left bumper. We'll try Y, A, B, X. Yeah, they seem to work. Those ones seem to work. Left, right, up and down seem to work. So this one seems to have the problem on the right stick. Now I'm tempted to change both because I'm sure they both have equal amounts of wear. I mean, the controller does look in fairly good condition. I can't really see any signs of wear on it. It's not, you know, it doesn't look like it's had a particularly hard life. It just seems like stick drift seems to be a very common problem on these. And I can't remember it being a problem in older controllers, like on the PS3. I can't remember having any, or even the original Xbox. I can't remember having problems with stick drift. I mean, you know, it might be a thing, but I can't remember having any experience of that. But I've definitely had it with these new Xbox controllers. So are they using inferior components these days? I don't know. Right, let's get the laptop out of the way and we'll take this one apart. Oh, well, that's shot across the room. And there it is. They're quite lively, these controllers, to get them apart. Unless I'm not doing something right. And again, nobody's been into this one. The seal's still intact. So let's get into it. Right, I'll do the same as what I did on the last one. I'll remove this circuit board first. And the two little antennas. Alright, so it was this stick that was the problem. Right, blue tack and flux, and then low melt solder again. I think I might try the rework station just to heat this lot up. There we go, it just pretty much fell off. couple more to do. Let me try the solder sucker on that one. Right, I think there's a couple here. Might just need a little bit more. Right, it's all clear now. Let's give it a bit of a clean up. Just checking those holes are clear. There's a bit flux in them. Right, we'll get a new joystick out. We need to cut those bits off the bottom again, don't we? Right, that's installed. Let's solder it up. Just check it's flat against the board still. Just in case it's moved. Right, I'll give this a clean up again and then we'll reassemble it. Right, so we'll get this one back in its case now as well. It was that way, wasn't it? They're actually fairly easy to work on these. They're actually nice to take apart. Apart from the actual clips, things on the sides. I think that's the hardest part is actually getting into them. Well, they're actually not too bad once you actually get into it. It needs to go in the other way, like that. Right, that's it. I'll get those two screws in just to hold it in place, and then we'll solder the wires back on. And put some fresh solder on these pads. I think I'll take a bit of that solder off, there's a bit too much on there now. Right, so it's all the wires back on. You know, slightly fiddly to get on these. I need to put these caps on. Right, we'll put the caps back on and give it a test. Right, I shall go and get the laptop again. So let's try right, and we'll get +1, and left goes to -1. Up goes to -1 and down goes to +1. It does, however, seem very slightly off centre when you let go of the stick. It seems to be very slightly to the left. And obviously we haven't changed the left-hand joystick. And that one seems to be working okay. Alright, so let's check the buttons again. Right trigger, left trigger, right bumper, left bumper, Y, A, X, B, down, up, left, right, and we'll try these two buttons as well. So good, that seems to be all working fine, apart from very slight not being centered on the crosshair there. So right, let's have a look at the last one then and see what that's doing. Right, so the last one is another carbon black one here. Let's plug it in and see what that one does. And it looks centered, so so I've just pressed the right trigger there, and immediately the left joystick has gone all the way forward. And I press down and it seems to be stuck backwards now. And now it's not going forwards at all. Let's just try the right joystick. Just in case it's an intermittent fault. Actually we didn't test the clicky buttons, did we? I forgot about those. So the problem with this one appears to be this left joystick on the Y-axis, not going forward. Right, we'll pull this one apart and we'll swap that joystick out next. And again, doesn't look like anybody's been into this. The warranty seal is still intact, or the label's still intact. Right, let's get these side plates off again. Right, well, that one's flew off again. Oh, and that one did as well. Yeah, they're quite lively these. I'm surprised they don't actually break when they come off, but I mean, so far so good. Right, let's get the screws out. Right, so left joystick on this one. Seems there's a bit of hair or something in here. Yeah, there's definitely some hair in this one. Right, some low melt solder again, I think. I'll just put some flux on first. I think I'll try the hot air rework station again until this thing just drops off. And there we go, that's it off. Right, we'll clean these holes up. Yeah, it sticks to the circuit board alright, but not to my silicon mat, that's the problem. Right, I think there's one hole just left at the top here that's not quite cleared. Right, we've got a new joystick. And we need to snip those little bits of plastic off again. And now to solder it up. Right, now just reassemble and test. Right, just the antenna wire has to go on now. Right, let's give it a test then. I'll go and grab the laptop once more. Right, let's give this one a try. Let's try forward and backward. And interestingly enough, that one seems to snap almost back to the centre perfectly. If I go down there and let go, up and let go, it might just be very slightly to the left of the centre of the crosshair, but it's going to -1, +1, -1 and +1. And we didn't replace the right analog stick, as that one appears to be working correctly. Let's just try the down, up, right and left, A, Y, B, X. Let's just try the clicky buttons when you press the thumbsticks in. So yeah, so they're all working. So yeah, so that one seems to be working perfect now as well. What I'll do, I'll quickly try them whilst on the Xbox, and then we'll wrap this video up. So first we're going to try the first controller. So I had a couple of games with the first controller we repaired, and that worked fine. So we'll try the second controller now. And the second controller seems to work fine as well. So we'll go over to the third one. So yeah, so that's controller number 3. So I think that one's working okay fine as well. So right then, if you enjoyed this video, please give it the thumbs up. If you want to see more like it, please subscribe. Any comments or questions, please leave it in the comment section below. And as always, have a great day. Thanks for watching.